Hey guys, Mike Bland here, private investigator. I was weighing in with my 25 years experience on a couple of these news videos, the shooting body cam incident, and the one I'm going to touch on first is this Amir Locke guy, I guess in Minnesota. And I watched the police body cam video in which the police department was obviously being, transparent in reviewing that shooting. Being a former police officer, I try not to be, and private investigator now, I try not to be biased and have any, pro-police only views, and always look at things as an investigator should, which is just the facts and the evidence, witness and camera footage and things like that. And then of course weigh in on that. So, the thing I will say is I'll honestly say that I was honestly shocked when I saw the video, because one, they've had problems there before. Two, for people that are, not in law enforcement and not educated on what a no-knock warrant is, that is designed to protect law enforcement while doing a high-risk entry, high-risk takedown, high-risk threat. Maybe the guy was wanted for, I don't know, but in that case, what that warrant was for. But generally, it is something where the guy is wanted on some type of crime involving a firearm, let's say homicide, maybe wanted on questioning for a homicide, did a robbery, carjacking, something like that, or the guy has a violent history. Or with law enforcement. So having said that, when I saw they turned the key, made the entry, I had several guys, weapons out, which is all protocol by the ways, and it looked like from the freeze frame of where they had that final footage when they shot him, he was covered up in a blanket on the couch. Looked like there was a small TV turned on or something. So it looked like he was either asleep or watching TV, and then when you see the footage, he's covered and he's draped in that blanket and he has a handgun. But I will actually say the reason I'm shocked is because when you do a no-knock high-risk warrant like that, it's a double-edged sword, because you're going in and you're trying to use the element of surprise as to not put yourself in harm's way, and giving this guy time to arm himself or get away, destroy contraband. But the problem lies therein is that you're also surprising this guy, and he doesn't know who you are possibly, or if, and this guy obviously is deceased now, so you're gonna have to, there's not a witness other than the body cam, so you're gonna have to then have people weighing in and sitting in and judging what happened. And I can tell you right now, looking at it, that I would believe there's probably going to be an overwhelming argument that this guy very well may not have known that these were law enforcement, and very well could have been scared, or even scared for his life, and in fact grabbed a handgun. And obviously was either sleeping next to the gun, or when I was a cop for 20 years prior to doing private investigations, I was always wearing my handgun, sleeping next to it on my nightstand, in the nightstand, maybe on safe. And if I was, didn't have some, like a girlfriend or somebody, I was single at that time, I would have it under the pillow next to me, maybe in a holster and safe. And for a normal person that's done normal jobs their whole lives, they don't understand, the whole having the gun around the whole time. But also, a lot of people nowadays trying to just stay safe, and people that have had any training also, like military guys or law enforcement, or bad guys, people that are feeling that they need to be protected, are smart enough to realize they need the weapon around them at all times, in close proximity and loaded. A weapon that is not near you is going to never help. And obviously that's kind of an example there of that deadly force scenario, where it could be good guys coming in, it could be bad guys. You're going to need a weapon to protect you, and you're going to need it close. It looked like that young man had, for whatever reason too, when you start getting to other topics and other angles there, was that guy legally allowed to own a firearm? I don't know. I mean, in that scenario, it's kind of like a valid question, and I'm sure there's a official answer on that, but then it's kind of a separate topic also. The topic kind of at hand there is with the police going in like that, you know, the police going in on anyone like that, that's something that law enforcement needs to really be trained up and very cautious with, because going in anyone's house nowadays, especially with the high crime, anyone that is on the couch at 3 a.m. or whatever time that incident went down, and having guys rushing in the house, if it's somebody that's also been threatened by a person or group of persons before as well, or faced death threats, or they maybe are a criminal, or maybe it's even a police officer that's off duty, they're going to most likely come out shooting. So I know if somebody's coming in my house that way, and I don't know who it is, 3, 4 in the morning, I can tell you, I know who's supposed to be in my house. I know my family's always there. We're here asleep, and we're not expecting someone. And so, God forbid, in that fraction of a second, you don't hear someone announcing police or seeing that they're law enforcement, and then being able to recognize that, which you're talking fractions of seconds, which if those are bad guys entering, you don't have the training and the time to sit and figure this out. I'm saying you may see it and you may hear it, but the problem is the scenario when the person does not see the police insignia, and if they don't hear police, if you just see lights and lasers coming at you and in dark silhouettes and guns, you know what? You might be asking for a shootout, and that's the problem. And that's where this is a very, very debative topic. And the problem also is that these police, I've had the SWAT training, the sniper training, done the search warrants, went in there under stress, while the people were also under stress. I've seen people running, reaching for guns, flushing drugs, running out the back door. We've seen people that cooperated. We've seen all the different types of reactions. The problem is everyone's wired differently and everyone reacts differently. So you never know what you're walking into. The way we did our warrants were in between, which was a good option. We knocked on the door, we showed the warrant, explained it for a second, and the minute they tried to stall us and hold us up and tell us, well, I don't understand what's going on here, ma'am, please step to the side. We went in, cleared the rooms, chased everybody down. Even then, people were hiding guns and drugs and running or fighting or whatever. So, but we did the in-between approach. So you've got to be smart. And nowadays, people, especially with the views society has, law enforcement not being backed and supported whatsoever. Let's face it, the cops are in a tough situation, but the cops are also not trained SEAL Team 6 operators. And some of these guys, unfortunately, don't have enough training to really be doing some of this. The SWAT teams are obviously more highly trained, so they're more used to this. But even then, it's just going to circle back to, do you want to be going in houses and surprising people? I mean, it's not. The problem is sometimes you're forcing a shooting to happen, because you're scaring this person. They don't know what's going on. All they know is someone's coming in the door. First thing they're going to do is reach for a gun. And now the first guy coming in the door, you know, this guy that's home at 3 a.m, he doesn't have that training. Maybe he doesn't have that tactical training, situational awareness. Maybe he just woke up. Maybe he's drinking beer with his family, and he you know. So you got to understand that. If you're going to be the SWAT guy or this cop coming in the door, and you're surprising this guy, this family man is going to reach for a gun, you're now forcing a shooting scenario. But you're now going to shoot and kill this guy. So it's not a great scenario. So on that Minnesota scenario with this Amir Locke, I'm sorry, with my 25 years experience and watching that, all my personal biases and views aside, and look as an investigator, I think that Minnesota may have some serious issues going on again like before. Hopefully not, but hopefully, you know, cooler heads prevail. But I think it's a bad scenario all the way around. So that's my opinion on that, guys. Let me know what you think.